So the space sector is going from large state operators to much smaller, much more nimble commercial operators, often backed by venture capital or entrepreneurs. They do so by reducing cost. One way of reducing cost is to use smaller satellites that can be launched as a cluster of many satellites instead of one big launch. Another way of reducing cost is to use a standard, which is called the CubeSat, which is 10 by 10 by 10 centimeters. And because it's standardized, people can specialize in individual components. That means they can drive down cost.
About 3 or 4 years ago now, when myself and a colleague, we sat down and started looking at the new space area of the business and said, the industry that we have and the way we currently sell insurance doesn't really apply for that sector. So we engaged with a number of people in that particular field, spoke to a number of new space customers or potential customers at that point, and asked them about what were their primary concerns, and more to the point, how did they want to have that protected from an insurance product perspective. So through that, we actually designed a product that was designed to be very flexible, very agile, and provide a broad range of coverage that really got away from the historical traditional insurance that it required you to go to a number of very specific different class specialists in order to procure your insurance. So we brought all that together under one banner. We now have a product that's backed by 18 Lloyd's syndicates, so it's a really Lloyd-centric product, enabled us to write 100% of the programs that we're looking at.
We insure satellites for launch and their entire lifetime in orbit, 1 year at a time. We have a very technical approach. I have a satellite engineering background myself, and I have an engineer who works for me with over 30 years experience working in the industry, who analyse all of our risks and make sure that we can put ourselves in the shoes of our insureds to understand the risk from their point of view.
In general, the launch phase and the orbital phase is the most risky. After that, it would be space debris. Another risk comes from space weather. Space weather is kind of intangible insofar as we don't know what the risk is that something really bad will happen. It's not really known, and it's difficult to guard against.
I think the main thing that risk managers should consider really the extent and the scope of the cover that they're looking for. If you're launching a commercial business using a satellite, you probably need quite comprehensive cover. You need to think about the scenarios of what happened if that satellite were to fail. How long will it take you to rebuild a satellite? How long will you need to keep your teams working to rebuild that satellite? Do you have to go out and contract another provider to provide that service in the meantime?
I think we're at a really exciting point in the sort of future of not just the space sector, but actually the insurance sector and how we deal with that as well. Vast amount of innovation we're seeing coming through now in the area, and I think it's inherent on us as an insurance industry that we provide an exciting and innovative product that meets that demand that we're seeing from the industry.